Hey everyone, so before I get started on the topic of today's video, I just wanted to thank you all again for all the fantastic suggestions that you left in the comment section of the last couple videos for TV shows. I did get around to watching the last two episodes of Breaking Bad last night, and oh my god, that was so awesome. I'm not going to go into details because anybody who has not seen that show or finished watching it for whatever reason, I don't want to say anything to spoil it for anybody, but that was the best TV show ending that I could possibly have hoped for. I mean, if I wrote it myself, I probably would have done something similar to that. So that was awesome. Because so many times before I've been disappointed. Like, I remember when I used to watch Lost, the last episode of that show was such a huge disappointment to me. I was so angry. You know, I had invested years and years watching that show, and then to end the show that way, and again, I'm not going to say specifically, but any of you who saw it would know why I felt that way, and I was so angry about the way they ended that show. But anyways, Breaking Bad was awesome, and I think I've got to say that this is going to be my all-time favorite show ever, and my husband feels the exact same way about it. We were talking about it this morning, and we were like, how are we ever going to find anything to top that? Well, I don't think we will. So I was doing some research of my own as far as TV shows go, and I came across this article that was something to the effect of like greatest TV show of all time, and they were comparing Breaking Bad to The Wire, and people were debating, you know, why they felt each one of those was the best show of all time. And The Wire is not a show that came up on either one of the lists that you guys left, so I was wondering if any of you had seen that and what did you think about it. And I've never seen it. I don't know anything about it other than it has something to do with police and the drug culture and all that, but I have a funny feeling that it would be quite different in terms of the way they did the show and what it was about. So anyways, if anybody's seen that, let me know. Okay, so today's video is going to be sort of a follow-up to yesterday's video. In yesterday's video, I was talking about all the horrible things that go on daily in the world, and just what a mess this planet is, and how every time you turn around, you're hearing stuff on the news about how violent the world is and all the crime and the plane crashes, and you know, so the question is, how do we all deal with this? It creates a lot of stress on people on top of the everyday stresses that everyone has to deal with, whether it be stresses from your job, stresses because of money or not having enough money, the prices of everything going up constantly, inflation, and then your paycheck not coinciding with those increases, and you know, family pressures and health issues. I mean, you guys know how much I love to go hiking, and I woke up one day last week and my knee was all messed up, and I have no idea why. I don't know what happened, but I just was in pain, and I had already had a knee injury from before, and so I'm not really sure what happened. I don't know if it got bumped in the middle of the night. I don't know what happened, but all I can tell you is I won't be doing any hiking again anytime soon. I've been having a hard time just even walking in general, and but it's getting better, but it's going to take some time. But my point is that we all have specific problems and pressures and stress, and then, you know, things will happen in life and just add to that. But then you flip on the news and you hear all this other stuff, and that just adds to the stresses and pressures of everyday life. So how do we deal with all this? What do we do? What are some possible solutions? What I've done is I put together a list of things, and I am no expert, trust me, at dealing with stress, but what I have found is I've gotten much better at it than I used to be. Years and years ago, I had a lot of problems, and I've had a lot of things happen to me that were pretty bad, and I don't really want to go into like specific details, but from the very beginning of my life up until now, I've had a lot of horrible things happen to me, and I was sort of consumed with that at one point in my life, and I felt like I was in a hole that I was never going to dig myself out of. And it was a combination of different problems that I was dealing with at the time, and at one point I felt pretty hopeless, and I really tried. I tried so hard to claw my way out of various situations, and sometimes, you know, I didn't make such good choices, but the short part of the story is that I'm better now at handling problems and stress and things that happen. I'm not perfect, but I'm better at it. So I thought maybe what I could do is I compiled a list of things that I feel help, because none of us can control what happens in the world, and to a certain extent we can't even control what happens to us in our everyday lives. You know, there are external factors here that we don't have any control over. Things happen. So I'm going to give you some ideas of ways, sort of almost like coping mechanism, or ways to kind of manage and handle your stress, to sort of things that you can do to counteract the stresses, we'll say, that occur in everyday life. And I have discovered firsthand what works and what does not work, and then I have some ideas of things that didn't necessarily work for me but might work for you, that you might want to give it a try, because stress is a very personalized thing, and different people have different kinds of stress, and what works for me may not be what works for you. So you have to kind of try a variety of different things. So I think this is going to end up being a multi-part video, because I can see I've already talked for a long time already. So I'm just going to give you a few ideas, and then what I'll do is I'll pick it up and take over and do the next one. In other words, it's going to be like a multiple part series, I guess. And then when I've exhausted all my ideas, then I'll stop and move on to something else. We'll talk about something else. Okay, so let's get started then on what my suggestions are. My first suggestion is get out into nature. I find that this helps so much. It's the most amazing thing when you go out, like my husband and I have been going hiking. And you would go out there and get out like in the middle of nowhere, and the sun would be shining and the birds would be singing, and you might see some little creatures running around out there, and it's just, I can't even, if you have never done something like that, I can't even explain what it feels like. It feels amazing to just go back. It's almost like going back in time and experiencing the way things used to be before there was a modern civilization. If you can't do that for some reason, or don't want to do it, I would recommend just getting outside, because when you go outside and the sun is shining and the birds are singing, even if you're not out in the middle of the woods, it just, I don't know, it just makes you feel good. You know, like get a chair, get a folding chair, a lawn chair or something, and go put it out in your yard and just sit outside. And you know, if you're lucky enough to have a nice porch or something on your house, or if you live in an apartment, if you have a balcony or something, just sit outside. And I feel like, you know, just getting some sunshine and fresh air can help a lot. If you don't have a place where you can sit outside, you know, go to a park or something and just get out there. Trust me, it really makes you feel good. And it helps. It's good for you to get some sunshine and fresh air every day. Okay, next is a safe means of escapism. And, you know, I was just talking about the TV show Breaking Bad, but one of the ways that we can all sort of escape from our problem is to sit back, you know, kick back and watch a TV show, watch a movie, because it gets your mind off of whatever is bothering you and refocuses it somewhere else. And maybe you're just going to watch some show for an hour. I like to find something specifically and then watch it continuously, because then I can set aside some time every day or once a week to focus and really get involved in these characters' lives. And, you know, it's a form of escapism, but it's a form of escapism that isn't going to harm you in any way or, you know, cost any money or anything if you're just doing it in the privacy of your own home. Whereas if you were to, like, say, go to a movie at the movie theaters, now it's going to cost you money. And not everybody has a lot of expendable income, or disposable income, I should say. And so yeah, just watch a TV show, just watch a movie. I mean, some of these suggestions are going to be rather obvious, but, you know, maybe somebody hasn't done anything like that in a long time and they've sort of gotten away from it. Next suggestion is read a book. Same thing is going to happen when you read a book as when you watch TV or watch a movie. You know, you can totally get engrossed in the characters in the book if it's fiction, or even if it's not fiction. If it's something that interests you, that you want to learn more about, reading a book is a great way to educate yourself and, you know, just increase your knowledge in general and learn more about things that interest you. So I can see now that, you know, we've gotten away from ourselves time-wise. So I'm going to pick this up again in my next video. And I hope you like the idea and the concept of this, because, I don't know, I just thought it would be a great thing to do, would be to offer up a whole bunch of suggestions of ways that you can counteract stress in your life, or, you know, depression, or however things are affecting you. So that's it, you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.